Now at 5:30, San Francisco has a new police chief, Mayor Daniel Lurie, who's taken a more tough on crime stance in the city in the last few months, appointed 20-year department veteran Derek Liu this week.
And here to discuss more on this selection process and how Liu will work with the mayor on his safety agenda is senior reporter with the San Francisco Standard, Jonah Owen Lamb. Jonah, thanks for coming on with us.
Pleasure to be here.
So Jonah, take us through this process. We mentioned, this sort of tough on crime stance. Is this the guy who fits the bill?
Remains to be seen. Obviously, there was a lot of candidates that the police commission looked at, 34 of them. The 3 finalists, according to my sources, were all internal candidates. I think that was an important choice. The last chief, who was here for many years, was from LAPD, and another chief recently was also from LAPD. So I think for the rank and file and others that were happy to hear that a long-standing SFPD officer was here. Liu is kind of a quiet presence in the department. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't kind of known as a guy reaching to get to the top. He has been on patrol, he's done lots of investigative work, and he was involved in a pretty hairy incident early in his career in Bayview where he was shot at, and a bullet went through his jacket, and so pretty close call. I think that kind of experience bodes well for his respect among the rank and file. But there is some kind of questions about his experience running a department with more than 2,000 employees, hundreds of millions of dollars in budget, and that kind of remains to be seen. Luckily, interim Chief Paul Yep is going to be by his side for some months as an advisor, and he has a pretty new command staff that Yep put into place for him. So I think the deck is kind of set for him to do what he needs to do. And I think, on the other hand, we need to remember that the crime is at all times low in San Francisco right now. I mean, there hasn't been crime rates this low since like the 50s. Obviously, we still have open-air drug dealing and drug dealers as a problem, but it's not as if the department is facing some skyrocketing homicide rate. I mean, we had 50 people killed every year in the last couple of years, which is really low for a city of our size.
And yet the public perception is that, drug dealing and that sort of thing is out of control. So obviously to have someone who has that reputation, it's going to appeal to the mayor. Kind of an interesting background, and you may want to share this with our audience because we found it really interesting. He got a Medal of Honor after being nearly shot in 2006. Also, his jacket, I guess there's a hole in it, and it's hanging
at the station.
At the station in Bayview.
The incident I was talking about in 2006 in the Bayview was the one you're referring to.
Yes.
His jacket is on the wall at Bayview still. There's a plaque below it. It's also his partner's jacket is there as well. This was an incident where there was a call for service for somebody who had been shot. They come upon a gentleman who happened to be Mayor London Breed's cousin. They get into a shootout. His partner shoots and kills the man who they were going to find out what was going on. So obviously this is a pretty serious incident, and he has that kind of experience. And I think, like I said, that's important for folks in the rank and file to see that their leader has actually done real police work of that nature. He also ran DMAC, which is essentially the city's drug market operation center, and that is a really important role, and I'm sure that came into the mayor's mind when he chose Liu as the next chief.
For sure, and you mentioned, that he's a quiet guy in a somewhat quiet position, but he's got a compelling story, of course, when you lay out some of the things that have gone on in the neighborhoods that he's worked for. And those neighborhoods included the Bayview, Ingleside, and also the Central Stations. How much do you think those factored into the decision that the mayor made saying, hey, look, this is the right guy for this job?
I think it's important to remember the difference between stations he's worked at and the stations he's run as a captain. He's only been a captain in one station, Ingleside. He's worked at Bayview and other stations. I think his time in, as in Ingleside and in DMAC were really important, but I also think, his story, he's from San Francisco, he was raised here, his grandparents were Chinese immigrants who had a small business. Those are also things I think that are important.
Yeah, went to school for finance, right?
Yeah, went to SI on the west side. He has a lot of these kind of San Francisco story bits in his bio, which I think, play a role. They're not obviously the only thing that comes to mind when you choose a chief, but, I think the mayor obviously wanted a San Franciscan, and he got one.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt that he has some drug enforcement experience under his belt as well. All right, well, great talking with you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
We've learned a lot here. This is Jonah Owen Lamb from the San Francisco Standard, senior reporter. Great work. Thanks for
thanks, Jonah.
filling us in.
Thanks a bunch.